funsupermart.com.
What are some of the golden rules of investing?
There's actually quite a few rules we do practice in Aberdeen, and I think the biggest number one rule I would always emphasize is basically always do your homework before even parting a dollar. And it's very, very important because a lot of people don't appreciate our businesses, and they still think that it's still a gambling den. It's not a gambling den. You can actually make a lot of money if you do your homework and you buy the companies which are well managed and also are well, in the sense that are well managed and have good managers and good business plans, and you have a certain margin of safety in terms of your price that you have paid for it. And I'm telling you, you will definitely make a lot of money over time.
Can you share with us some mistakes to avoid when investing?
I think the biggest number one mistake is not doing enough work. If you don't do enough research, and especially in Aberdeen, where we practice being a stock picker, and when we look at being a stock picker, we always emphasize the point that we have to treat one company as its own. So we have to look at the business, we have to look at the individuals, the families, the stakeholders by itself. We cannot compare it with a few others, and just because there's only one shareholder which is very influential means that we are safe. No. We have to make sure that we cover at all angles, meaning the stakeholder, management, balance sheet, very, very important, and also execution and business strategy forward. If you don't do this all together and you just part a dollar, you will definitely make a mistake down the road.
One of the golden rules is taking advantage of irrational behavior. Can you elaborate what does this rule mean and what constitutes as irrational behavior?
Okay, for example, irrational behavior is what we're currently seeing in Thailand. That's a very classic case of irrational behavior. The baht is basically plunging, the stock market is plunging, everyone is just selling out left, right, center. Immaterial whether it's a good stock, still a very good buy, still a very good hold, they're just cashing out. And that is irrational behavior. Why? Because they assume that the politics will continue, the gridlock will continue forever. It's not going to be the case. Politics and business, you have to separate. Politics will always be there. You know, the Prime Minister, the Cabinet Ministers will always be there. But when you look at a business by itself, there's definitely money to be made. There's food to be supposed to be fed on tables. People need to consume drinks. So that is definitely irrational behavior. And what we are seeing in Thailand, for example, there's a lot of good stocks that have been hammered down and valuations are very, very attractive.
Apart from fund managers, it is important for investors to also do their own research before investing. What are some of your suggestions for investors?
I think no different than fund managers doing your own research, but if for a retailer investing in a mutual trust, in a mutual fund, always, I think the homework that you can actually do is pick the right manager that has the track record. You know, obviously returns in 3 to 5 years over the long term, and not just narrowing it down to 3 months and 1 month, because it's immaterial. There's going to be short-term volatility. So seeing the track record, seeing the managers, seeing whether the managers are passionate about the business. You know, obviously investing, you need to be a little bit of street smart. It's not just IQ. You have to go and visit companies, visit malls and foreign. You're always doing your homework at the site. So if a retail investor picks the right managers that's passionate and is ensuring that he has the returns, a consistent track record to do it, you can piggyback on that sort of homework has already been done for you.
In your opinion, what is your biggest challenge as a fund manager?
Well, this is actually very interesting. There's obviously every day is very different from the other. But I think on the desk, my personal experience and among all the fund managers in Aberdeen is we want to buy a great business, but we want to make sure we're paying a fair price. And that's the biggest challenge because, for example, a great business might not come cheap. And we're always being very patient. But basically, there's sometimes you really need to make a a decision. So I think that's the biggest challenge, because we like the businesses and you really do a lot of homework and you know it's the right company, but you don't really want to pay the price that the market is putting in place, which can be quite a big premium to where the industry is. So we have to justify, and as fund managers, I think that's the biggest challenge.